Hello, I'm Tiffany McTaggart bringing you this week's Rural Roundup. The store cattle trade is currently booming, so there's lots of happy farmers around. We've also reached the end of the NVZ close period, so farmers are getting out onto the fields, managing to spread some muck, and there's also potential to spread some fertiliser. So just be careful though, don't go out too early. It's very easy for there to still be another hard frost. Just now is also a great time to stop and have a think about any greening requirements that you have for your single application form this year. It's better to have a think now before you go and plough that last field, just so that you know if there's any additional requirements, so you can make alterations to your plan for the year to make sure that you have enough greening. Don't get caught out. Vaccinations, there have been some reports of people struggling to get vaccinations, so do plan ahead, make sure you know what you're needing when you're needing it. Don't go out and stockpile too early, because some of the vaccinations have a short expiry date and you don't want any going to waste. The deadline's coming up for making your claim for preparing for sustainable farming for 2022. So the claims deadline is the 28th of February. This is for work that got carried out from the 1st of January through to the 31st of December 2022. So make sure you get your claim in if you haven't already. Same applies for the Sustainable Agricultural Capital Grant Scheme. The deadline is the 28th of February. Don't forget to include your geotagged photograph of the equipment that you purchased on your farm, all in place. There has been a change to preparing for sustainable farming for 2023. There is a new section that's been added. It's for animal health and welfare interventions. So this is promoting having healthy and productive herds and flocks. So this is for work that's carried out from the 1st of January and completed by the 31st of December 2023, and claims need to be made by the 28th of February 2024. So for this, you can get a standard capital cost for up to 2 of the different options. So it's £250 for each option that you claim for, and you can claim 2 of them. So there's 7 different options which can be claimed for as part of this. So for the cattle, you can apply for pre-breeding bull examination. So you can go and get your semen testing done on your bulls and use that, but make sure you also have the actions which are taking place after that, whether you're selling your bull or maybe retesting at a later point once you change your management. So it's important to have both the initial testing as well as then the advice and implementation of a plan following that. There's also funding available for cough respiration. So I know a lot of people have had issues with pneumonia, so potentially having a look at your pneumonia issue is an option. On the sheep side, there's one of the options is for looking at iceberg diseases and identifying if they're an issue on your farm. Should you find that they are, you'll need an implementation plan and an action plan for trying to get rid of it. There's also funding available for identifying if you've got a sheep scab, so you'll need to take samples of blood from 12 sheep within the flock. If there's got different batches, you'll need to do it from different batches as well to identify if there's sheep scab on your farm. The other sheep option is for sheep lameness, so it's looking into what the causes of lameness are and trying to get rid of it in your flock, and having an action plan to try and get rid of lameness issues. So there's a further 2 options which are both available to the sheep and the cattle. One is for liver fluke and the other is for gastrointestinal parasites, so this is looking at worms. So both of these you'll be looking at doing things like fecal egg counts as well as looking at wormer efficacy or flukicide efficacy. So it's definitely worth having a look at what options are available, have a think about what options could potentially be beneficial to your farm and make sure you match these up. You do need to have a form filled in by an expert advisor, somebody out with your business who is a professional, for example your vet or your consultant, and they'll be able to provide you with advice on what to do, what management practices to implement after you've done your investigation as well. When you first claim for animal health and welfare interventions, there's also an additional £250 available for your own personal CPD. So this is allowing you an opportunity to go and learn more about diseases and issues that could be affecting your farm and find out more about them. This could be through talking to your vet or attending a meeting, but it's just a way for you to go and learn more about these issues. So for 2023, the soil sampling and carbon audits are still also available. So if you didn't go and do them in 2022, you can do them in 2023. And with soil sampling, even if you have claimed in 2022, you're eligible to claim again in 2023. Avian influenza is still an issue. Make sure you keep your ears open for reports if it's in your local area, as you'll have higher biosecurity measures to be put in place. Make sure if you've got any kind of poultry that you have good biosecurity measures in place anyway to try and minimise the impact and likelihood of catching avian influenza. So make sure you're having clean waterproofs, make sure you're disinfecting hard surfaces and try and keep on top of biosecurity measures. If you do go and find a dead bird of prey or 3 dead waterfowl, make sure you go and report this as well. We need to know where it's being found. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed listening to me, why not have a listen to Rural Roundup podcast, which will be available from your usual podcast supplier, and you'll be able to get a fortnightly update on what is happening in agriculture.